Review today on why District 15 is a highly desirable area for both locals and foreigners alike. Hello there, hope everyone is getting on well. I'm Jeremy from jeremytandotco, and today I thought I'd do this video with you on part 2 on District 15. Part 1 is a written piece on my website that you have already read. Now today I'm going to share with you 4 things you wish you knew about East Coast other than the beach, the good food, the unobstructed sea views. So continue watching as I'll be sharing with you these 4 topics now. Hi everyone, so review today 4 things you wish you knew about East Coast. Basically I'm going to outline my sharing today and I'm going to share with you these 4 things right about now, as you can see it on the slide right now. So basically this is what I'm going to share today. This is the outline of the 4 topics. Number 1, of course, transaction data. I believe numbers are really important in real estate investment, so I'm going to share with you transaction data. Number 2, of course, the appeal of the area. Let's take a look at how past launches have performed in District 15 alone. And number 3, I'm going to talk about transformation in and around the East Coast area, as well as the eastern part of Singapore. I'm going to share a little bit about the greater southern waterfront as well. And then last but not least, basically I'm going to give you tips on how you can identify resilient properties for investment, or if you are first time or a upgrader or home upgrader, you can actually have all these takeaway from my quick tips on how to actually identify resilient properties. So before I go on, basically this is a disclaimer that this video is for information purposes only. My views expressed does not constitute any investment advice or recommendation. So without further ado, let us go to the presentation proper. I'm going to show you the sales data of District 15 on how it is performing based on the resale transaction for a period of 3 odd years. Yeah. So in the next slide you will see this, basically sales data of District 15. As you can see here, for a period from 2017 to May 2020, we are looking at 3,368 resale units being sold. These are all non-landed residential, basically apartments and condos. These are being transacted in District 15 for that period. Pretty healthy numbers to me. If you look at on the overall transaction basis of non-landed residential in Singapore. So now let us take a look at District 10, a core central region, versus District 15, which we are talking about today, a rest of core central region. So these are the numbers for District 10. As you can see, maybe some of you might be caught by surprise. Hey, looking at it, the same period, but then for District 10 is performing slightly below, going under 3,000 units. Some of you might think, oh, why is this happening? Because core central region, District 10 should be a popular area. You are not wrong. So basically I'm going to share more data with you. So we have seen the sales data, sales transaction data of both districts. We must also not forget rental volume. So as you can know, as you know, rental volume is a key component of your capital appreciation. So now let us take a look at both this district. Let us now first take a look at District 15 rental volume. So this is District 15 rental volume for the same period. We are clocking in about 26,492 units for that period. Give and take, probably a year you'll be looking at maybe say 8,000 odd. Yeah, 8,000 odd units being rented out. Non-landed again is the same segment, same filters that I have done. So basically District 15 rental. Let us take a look at District 10. So District 10 you can see is slightly higher at 27,813 for that same period. Yeah, so basically all these numbers that I share with you, the sales data, the rental data. So what does it mean to you? Basically it means that these 2 districts are actually highly sought after, popular districts that be it for sales transaction, be it sales transaction as in buying, or renting, people coming into the area to rent. So in fact, these two districts are actually in the top three top performing districts in Singapore when it comes to sales transaction and rental transaction. Yeah, so I know some of you might say, hey, you look, District 15 is probably bigger than District 10. No, not true. So because for one, District 10 coverage is a lot bigger, definitely, than District 15. And number two, big doesn't necessarily mean higher volume, higher transaction. To put into perspective, District 16, which is also part of East Coast but on the upper East Coast and Bedok side, is a lot bigger, but it pales in comparison when it comes to District 15, in terms of transactions, and volume. So so basically these are the comparison that we are looking at. Now generally District 9 and District 10 are highly popular districts which locals and foreigners invest and make their homes in. However, District 15 is also a hot favorite among home buyers and foreigners. And recently, Property Guru did a survey. So they polled home buyers in Singapore, and District 15 came out tops in the poll. 1 in 3 home buyers poll said that they actually preferred District 15 as their top choice in terms of wanting to come into this area to buy their homes or invest in. So you can see there's a certain amount of appeal amongst those home buyers in Singapore. So that is one article that is showing us the survey. Now let us take a look at the performance of the past launches in District 15. That will give you a good gauge on how are people actually reacting to launches in District 15. Now, 6 years ago, 2014, you had 70 Sempets by UOL. This is a very impressive project. It chalked up 60% sales in 2 weeks. Impressive numbers, I must say, during that time, because you must understand that this was on the back of a 2013 cooling measure, the TDSR, the total debt servicing ratio, which was introduced in 2013. So this was 1 year later, and to actually have 60% sales in 2 weeks is actually quite impressive for 70 Sempets. So a few months later, in January 2015, we have the Marine Blue. It's a project by Capital Land. They released 50 units on the weekend. They sold 31 units and an average of 1,008 to 2,000 per square foot. So during then, people are already accepting at 2,000 per square foot. So moving on, this probably you are familiar with. The next slide I'm going to show you. This is a blockbuster launch in District 15, Seaside Residences. Fraser is the developer. They launched this in phases. So phase 1, as you can see, 392 units sold on a weekend. They have released 560 units, close to 400 units sold on a weekend. Subsequently, they sold by different phases and was selling well as well. So very well received project in District 15. So it gives you a little bit gauge on how each launches in District 15, how well received they are. And not to forget, if you read closely the things that I highlighted, average price was said to be 1,007 per square foot, which was above the original indicative price. So you can see, gauging by market sentiment, even is higher than the indicative per square foot. There's still a lot of buyers gunning for this project. This happened in April 2017, but I want to bring you to attention in the next slide is something that the government did in March 2017. So what did they do? Basically, seller stamp duty, they reduced. Originally it was 4 years, they reduced to 3 years. So the waiting time is cut short, and the percentage tier is also cut short. Yeah, the TDSR will also not apply to mortgage equity loan for LTV 50% or below. So you can see what the government is trying to do. They can turn on the tap, they can turn off the tap, they can, when the market is moving at a certain pace, they don't want it to move too fast, they will just implement measures. If they think that the market is probably not to their liking and they can improve a little bit, they will reduce the measures. So this is how the proactive government is actually helping the property market in Singapore. Now moving on, 2018, this is a project by UOL. It's a former floral nursery beside Shaw Residences, as some of you might recall. This is a 139 unit development. They released 100 units. On the weekend, they sold 80 units, and an average price of 2,002 per square foot. Excuse me. And 94% were Singaporeans. So you can see again how well received East Coast launches. And then of course you have the blockbuster Amber Park. Last year, 2019, they sold 115 out of 150 units released and an average price of 2,425 per square foot. Again, bulk of the buyers, 85% were Singaporeans, and the rest made up of foreigners from China, India, as well as Indonesia, for their love of East Coast. So this is Amber Park, another well-received project in East Coast. Now for coastline residences, during this circuit breaker period, they sold 7 units just by virtual viewings alone. This is again another one of the new launches in District 15 that is doing well. Its freehold offers unobstructed sea views. You can see why actually people are looking to buy within this East Coast area. So yeah, some of you might ask, what is it about District 15, appeal of East Coast? Despite I would say different timings, different market timings and different market sentiment, as you can see in the slides that I show you, the take-up rate is usually very healthy. So actually people are prepared to pay for a home in East Coast. As I shared with you earlier, I show you transaction data, I show you the appeal of the district, the performance of the recent launches in District 15, and I haven't even touched on transformation, which is going to be exciting for East Coast and the Eastern region, which will potentially bring upsides in future. So let us now take a look at the transformation, especially of the Thomson East Coast line. As you can see, this infographic is from LTA. It's basically a 43-kilometer L-shaped manner line. It's going to be one of Singapore's most important line as well when it completes in 2023-24. You can see if you start from your right, East Coast area, you come down, you will be able to reach MBFC, Shenton Way, the CBD area. You'll be looking to go past the Great World City, the Orchard for your shopping as well, and then of course relevant locations again in Napier, where you have your Glen Eagles Hospital, your Botanic Gardens, and all the way up north to Woodlands. So all in all, this is a quite a important line that's going to be completed in the next few years. So in future, you will have a extension to Changi Airport Terminal 5 as well. So it's going to be a critical line in our railway network. So can you imagine the convenience it will bring to East Coast residents once the line is completed, whom has no MRT line within the area for the past 30 years since it started. More so, can you envision the property prices in future, when this line is completed? And that is not all. As you can see in the slide, there will be underground retail, 133,000 square feet of retail space being built in Marine Parade, together with underground bicycle parking. So a lot is happening in District 15 in the next few years. It's going to transform the area as well, and And we're talking about transformation, you're going to see East Coast Park facilities. You have more facilities, more open spaces, green spaces for leisure, as well as for dining, for recreational. Government has earmarked all these in plans for East Coast Park. East Coast will also offer 6,000 new HDB flats as announced by the government. So this is going to happen in the near future. And then of course I'm going to touch a little bit about the eastern region. Basically you can see on the bottom right, Eastern Gateway as part of the URA Draft Master Plan. Changi is going to be developed into an air hub to actually host aviation business that will create more jobs in the area as well. So when you have more jobs, you're going to have like people going to look for homes nearby. So East Coast again will benefit from that. And then the PM touched a little bit about the Greater Southern Waterfront from the National Day Rally. So you can see highlighted in red, it will go all the way up to Gardens by the Bay East. This will again benefit the East Coast residents because Gardens by the Bay East is on the extension for the eastern side, which is nearer to East Coast. And then something that has already happened, of course the Paya Lebar quarter is up and running, the mall as well. So again, if you can see from the article, multinational companies are actually taking up office space in PLQ. You have Bayer there, you have JLL, you have SMRT corporations that will again lead to people wanting to find homes or even tenant pool from that area to want to live in East Coast, which is nearby. So today I leave you here with these tips, basically these 7 key criteria that you must apply if you're on a lookout for a property. Basically you have your price gap, number 1, number 2 your rentability, number 3 your transformation in around the area, are there primary or international schools, your amenities is of course very important, size of the condo, facilities of the condo. Lastly, the supply nearby. So all this research has to be done in depth so that you come to an informed decision on whether to take the right action or not. And in District 15, if you want to know which project covers all 7 key criteria, just leave me a text. I'll be happy to share with you a more in-depth analysis. In the meantime, please like and follow me on all these social media platforms. And do not forget to hit the subscribe button on my YouTube channel to get the latest update on my next video. So thank you all for watching. Please take care and goodbye.